YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic, and welcome back to another YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back together again, and in today's video, we're going to be doing another ranking today. Today we're ranking the all 15 DCEU films because of the release of Blue Beetle. I want to go see it with my friends, and I actually had a fun time with it, and I get to share my thoughts on it in this ranking. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started talking about the DCEU movies. Now, the Suicide Squad is in last place for me because on the positives, I mean, Margot Robbie, Will Smith, their performances are fantastic, and there's a lot of fun characters in the film. The big problem here is that the story itself is like, they bring these people so they can do bad stuff, but they're not actual superheroes. The way that everything kind of works, the villain is mostly lame, even though there are some kind of cool action. Overall, this is easily one of the worst ones, but I do kind of have some fun with it. Now, this is one that I do actually have fun with, but the problem here is that every single time I rewatch it, it's like, sure, it has cool action, but all the characters just have faulty moments. The only thing that was great about the movie was Superman and the way they handled him and all the awesome scenes we got to see with him. But even his lines of dialogue was so bad. Even the stuff they did with Flash was pretty bad. This movie is just filled with stuff that was just so awkward and so not deserved. There's actually quite a few things I really liked about this movie. Of course, this is the best this movie has probably some of the best Batman action we've ever seen in live action. The warehouse fight is one of the best sequences, and even the stuff with Batman and Superman fighting each other is of course great, or Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman teaming up to stop Doomsday. All the action in this movie is great, even the performances are pretty good. The problem here is it tries to be a Man of Steel 2 movie, it tries to set up a Justice League, it tries to introduce new characters, and it tries to do too much, and I don't even remember what the movie was, and it's 3 hours long, and it's just too long for me. Now, Shazam 2, of course, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, this is pretty good. And then, as soon as I keep, thinking about it, I'm like, this movie just keeps getting worse and worse. On the positives, of course, you still got the laughs and some of the cool action in this film. But of course, the score, I probably would say it gave me chills at times, and even hearing, I Need a Hero at times was pretty fun. But the big problem here was that the story was so clunky. The Shazam family barely get any time to shine in this film. Their powers get literally taken away. And because their powers are getting taken away, you don't get a lot of cool action when when the monsters arrive. You just get the help of unicorns. And I don't know if that was what I wanted. And then plus you get this stupid Wonder Woman cameo in here. The post-credit scenes were pretty bad, and honestly, it's just a pretty boring and not well executed film. Now, there are a lot of things I liked about this movie, but also I have a bit of faults. On the positives, of course, James Gunn's style is fantastic. I love all the things from the action, to the soundtrack, to the characters. There's a lot of interesting and unique things that James Gunn did with this film. But the big problem with it is that, and I think all the character arcs and development and even scenes with it are great, but the big problem here is it just feels like in the beginning, you killed off a bunch of characters that we barely even got to know. And then it just becomes like this, the plot line that they're trying to stop just becomes so stupid that I feel like it goes a little bit too far. At the same time, it is still a good movie. I just kind of wish they did it in a different way. That's kind of why I'm excited for Thunderbolts, because it has characters that I already know, and when they team up, we're going to get awesomeness. Now, I know that people are hating on Black Adam because it's just meh, because they took out Superman, they took out Black Adam. I don't care. I had a fun time with this movie. It's simple, but it has good action. It's a nice introduction to the Justice Society of America. The two standouts, of course, are Hawkman and Dr. Fate. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson does work as an anti-hero, superhero, whatever you want to call it. It's really cool. The action's really cool. It's just a cool movie. Now, I feel like Wonder Woman 1984 is a little bit overhated because I don't hate this movie. I actually think it's pretty good, if I'm not gonna lie. It has some good action, it has a clever story, and the characters and the way that the story plays out are pretty compelling, and it even has some good emotions when you realize she has to lose Steve Trevor to save the day, and it's to renounce her wish. It's so powerful. I liked it. It's not the best one, but I did like it. Now, everyone hating on The Flash right now, I don't really understand you. This movie is fine. It has a good story. It has a great usage of Batman and cool Batman action. Since Batman v Superman, it has cool Supergirl action. It has all cool things. The Flash story itself is pretty good, but overall the movie is just good. It's nothing special, but it's nothing terrible either. Now, Aquaman, I actually have a lot of fun with. I think the action is really well done. This is from the director of The Conjuring, Malignant, and Fast Furious 7 films. And all of those films have really good action, and James Wan knows how to do action. It's really campy, and I like it. It's a simple story of trying to take back the throne, even though he doesn't want to. It's just a fun little film. So the first Shazam, I thought was such a delightful surprise. I thought it had a lot of great action. It had really good humor and just a nice sense of family, and just kind of did something unique that I never thought I would actually like from DC, and it absolutely paid off. Now, I went into this movie not knowing too much about Superman. I didn't really know who he is, and I honestly really liked it. I thought Henry Cavill played him really good. This was actually my introduction to Henry Cavill as an actor, after I saw him in, Mission Impossible and stuff like that. And to be perfectly clear, this is also the only Superman film that I've ever seen. So when Superman Legacy comes out, I'm gonna need to do some rewatch and watch every single Superman movie there is up until Superman Legacy. So I got a lot of homework to do. Besides that, I do like Man of Steel. Also, General Zod is a pretty goat villain. Now, Wonder Woman, I think, is just a really good movie. The No Man's Land sequence is so powerful. The score is really good. The action is great. The relationship between Diana and Steve Trevor is really good. It's just a simple story, but has great character arcs, cool action, and a great score, and a pretty good, simple story. Now, when I was going into this movie not knowing what to expect, and I went into it not knowing what to expect, and I came out absolutely falling in love with it, where everything in this movie just feels like it is great. All the characters, you don't feel like a negative thing, even if they didn't do much with them, like Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Batman. You still like seeing their appearance, but the big three standouts were, of course, Superman, Flash, and Cyborg, where they created these character arcs for them where you cared about them. Superman gets the things he deserves. He gets a black suit, and he even gets to get the smackdown on Steppenwolf. And even Steppenwolf is even better than this film, though the CGI and stuff isn't that great, but overall, a great predecessor for what you can do with this story of the Justice League in the DC universe. Now, when I first saw this film, I was like, wow, this is great. And every time I think about it, I just keep getting more and more invested, as it just has great action. the way that the story was told was really neat, and the characters you enjoy. It's pretty funny at times, and even Ewan McGregor as Black Mask, I thought worked really well as a villain, and so I just really love this movie, and it works so well. So I finally saw the new Blue Beetle film, and surprisingly, it is my favorite DCEU film, and of all these films, it's actually the only film I actually gave an A to. But let's talk about it. I absolutely loved Blue Beetle. I thought that this was a great DC film. I know that this isn't aiming to be the best DC movie of all time, but for me, it is one of my absolute favorites. I thought the action was badass, and really it works with all badass scenes. As a film that's exploring the Hispanic side of the superhero genre, it works really nicely with that. It has all the Hispanic songs and music and references and shows and snacks and everything, and Hispanic culture, and all the actors do really well. Of course, the story is generic, but they found a new way to do it where you actually cared about it, and even the villains you kind of care about it. Even though he's just this guy in a machine, you care about him a little bit, and even it even has some emotion in it that I thought was really nice. That they didn't just cut for a joke, and also George Lopez was pretty great. Also, Jaime Reyes has probably the best Riz in history. This is a great movie. I loved Blue Beetle, and that has been ranking of the DCEU. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the about section over there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.